Welcome everyone to the long-awaited 10th Cult of Kings StarCraft 2 replay. Today is going to be a Protoss versus Terran with Sinks spawning in the bottom left I should say, because I can't tell my left from right, and multi-sniper spawning in the top right. Remember that time. It's Protoss versus Protoss, and the map, in case you haven't figured it out yet, is in fact Delta Quadrant. They have spawned in the cross positions, but because it's Protoss versus Protoss, I don't think spawn locations really makes that much of a difference. Pylon's going down for both players now on 9. Now, while the boring part happens while they're scouting and building probes and things, as I said in the comments of or in the description of yesterday's video, I am going to be changing the way I cast games. I am still going to be doing predominantly these games, but once a week I've decided I also want to do a higher level game. Reason for that is because whilst we all watch, I'm sure, Husky and HD and everyone else out there, we may not see all the games that we want to see. So if you guys see some replays, because I don't watch that many myself, but if you guys watch some replays which you haven't seen cast, think they're great games and want to have them cast, send them on to me, and I'll usually do them on a Sunday. But yeah, Wednesday through Saturday, as normal, will be our replays. It's just I wanted to change it up a little bit, and also do some higher level replays to improve my casting ability, because I realised I'm pretty crap at it. So yeah, send them on. You guys all know the email address, but in case you don't, it's CKStarcraftReplays@gmail.com. Also, if you haven't posted your details on the forum as to who you are, make sure to do that, because I have received a few replays from people and they haven't included who they are, their email address isn't their player name, and their details aren't on the forums. So I had no idea who I'm supposed to be barracking for here. In this case it's Sinks, because I know Sinks, which makes it handy. But yeah, it makes it a little bit difficult for me to cast and say who our player is when I don't know who that is. But that's enough yakking out of me. Now we do see that I think Sinks is a little bit ahead in the supply here. Yeah, he's up by 2. I think that's because multi-sniper hasn't actually started producing out of this yet. No, Sinks is in fact just ahead. Cybernetics core going down now. We are seeing, well, I was going to be presuming some form of wall off here to stop units getting through, but maybe not yet. He's got a lot of resources banked. I don't quite know what for. He could even be getting, a stalker and a gateway, a sentry in the gateway. Oh, there we go, throwing down a very fast robo bay. So we are going to be seeing some very early robo play here. You'll have to excuse me. I did get a cold while I was actually away for a month, and now my stupid cough is back. So you'll have to bear with me. 2 gateways up now for Sinks, and we do have, I think he is a little bit up in the supply at this stage. Yes, he is. He's up by 3 supply, which is just probes unless there are units. Oh no, there is a stalker there. But he is a fair bit ahead utilising his buildings. I really think that multi-sniper should be producing some units. At least something, because I mean, if he at the moment he has 1 zealot. Now, a stalker can kite a zealot. So if he was to move out with this stalker, he could kite him, pull him all the way back, and then just kill it. But the Robo Bay is now online. Very, very fast robotics bay. Going to be seeing immensely fast colossi. Don't know if I like that. He's made a decision to commit to it very early. I mean, whilst Sinks hasn't scouted it, but he has no units. He spent all of his money so far on tech, and as you can see, we now have Sinks moving out, and at the moment, all he's got to defend with is a zealot. Now he is getting a sentry and a stalker, but if this zealot, oh okay, no, he's just moving to take the tower. But I still think that if he had pushed out, he would have been in trouble. But what can you do? Another gateway, and the robo bay is nearly done. No, don't know. I think it should have been an observer, because if he was going, say, the identical build except going heavy immortal, you may want to be changing. But I mean, he's got a lot of resources banked to start the thermal lance. See, now he's being pushed. He's in a bit of trouble now because he doesn't have the units to really sort of fend this off without pulling probes, which when you're going for very fast Colossus is a problem. That force field is fantastic, and the probes actually blocked the Zealot from attacking there. So that was a very good push there. Taking out a few probes, stopping a lot of mining, and I mean, really, I don't know if I agree with Colossus this early. I mean, he's got so much of a unit. Sphinx has such an early unit advantage right now. And, I mean, there is an observer on the way, but there are 3 warp gates. And, I mean, I don't... whilst Colossi are fantastic units, but they're not an army. Don't know if I agree with Sphinx expanding at the moment. I mean, he should have seen the Colossus coming in prepared instead of for defenses, because he should have known that he was pushing out. Again, don't know if I like the fact that he's just pushed out, let the Stalker get so far ahead. Yeah, see, and this is the thing. See, now he's lost all of his forces. Now, I wouldn't... Now he's pushing. I think... No, see, now would be when I would be expanding, but this is probably why Sphinx is in gold and I'm in silver. So, yeah, the Colossus has pulled back, no damage taken on it, but we do have a ton of units sitting in the middle of his base. We do have 2 more Zealots being whopped in. This Colossus goes down, I think that's going to be GG, but I think he'll be able to hold this push off with those reinforcements. An Observer moving in now to keep an eye on things, and there is a Sentry sitting back here. Again, he's letting the Zealot get a long way ahead. A force field behind and a turnaround from these units will catch this Zealot napping. And yeah, now he's going to lose it again. I don't quite understand what he was doing there. I'm guessing he's just made a mistake and missed it. But I think Sphinx is in a very commanding position at the moment, because whilst, again, the Colossus is extremely powerful, but is not a one-man army by any means. We are seeing another gateway coming down now, but again, Sphinx is pulling ahead a long way. I'm going to have a look at the income tab now. They're both about the same, but Sphinx is getting more harvesters. Wouldn't mind seeing a transfer. Immortal now out, so let's have a look at the units tab and see what everyone's got. So 1 Immortal, 7 Stalkers and a Sentry versus 2 Colossi, 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. Production tab, no extended thermal lance. Has he done that already? No. Again, seeing this Colossus is nearly dead. He's banking a lot on the fact that Sphinx won't be able to deal with the Colossus, but I don't know. I think the Immortals will be able to do it. I don't know where he's gone. There it is. Let's have a look. See, 50 damage versus Armored. Now, whilst these guys are massive and have a lot of hit points, but you see, look, that's 350 damage in total, including the force fields. Now, that, if you were to break that down, is 7 shots from an Immortal. So, if you had 7 Immortals, focus fire onto one, that's lights out. And he's already got 2 on the field, and I think that I don't think that going this early... Oh, and the Observer goes down, so he has no idea what he's doing now, but, I mean, it's pretty obvious to tell when all of his units quite casually strolled across his base that he was moving to take this expansion. I would want to be pulling this Immortal back now that the Observer is dead. He is building another Immortal. Does have a second Robo Bay online now. Good job at keeping his minerals low, I think. Yeah, both players doing a reasonable job of keeping their minerals low, but again, I don't think this force is going to be able to take on this. There's so much more stuff here, and with the Colossus, it's very easy to catch them out of position because people will get over eager with them. The Extended Thermal Lance, now that Robo Bay's been up since very early on, and it's only just now getting that Extended Thermal Lance. Now, I just don't think it's going to be enough. Excellent force field there to block off the units from getting up the ramp. I don't know if the continuing on up the ramp was such a good... Now he's caught, so yeah, that'll be the end of this army. Could be trouble here, although that... Yeah, no, it's just too much for the Immortals to take on. Don't know if that Zealot looked like it was swinging past the force field. That was kind of clever, if it was actually doing that. But again, I think the income tab is going to show the story here. He's such a long way ahead, and has been a long way ahead for a while now. More gateways coming down now. Again, I don't think he has an observer. See, I think both players could be a little bit more. There we go. So Sinks now has another observer. I do think that it would have been better. You need to have more observers. Both players really, because if one of the things I have found about this Colossus, about people who go for very fast Colossus, is they do occasionally skip the observer. Now, skipping the observer is bad if someone goes Dark Templar, and that's very often what I do when I'm playing. Protoss, and 4 DTs takes on a Colossus, even with the observer. 4 Dark Templar will kill a Colossus, and if one of the players was to switch into Dark Templar, they would just romp through everything. Especially if you got, say 3 DTs stealthed all the way into here. They just one-shot probes if they have any form of upgrades. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing some form of upgrades rather than this mass production of units. His gas is getting a little bit high. Oh, there we go. So, no, he did throw down a Forge. I obviously just missed it because I'm an idiot. Forge is also down for both players, so I missed them both. But, again, the Harvester count is a long way ahead, and I think that if we have a look at the Units tab, 3 Immortals, 10 Stalkers, 4 Zealots versus 9 Zealots, 2 Colossi, 5 Stalkers, and a Sentry. But there are more and more units coming in, and this income is going to definitely allow Sinks to start pulling ahead. He needs to be building more probes. Possibly wouldn't mind a bit more scouting of each other. I mean, especially from multi-sniper's view, because I mean there is, he has no idea that this expansion's up. I don't think. Let's have a look. No, there is no notion as to how long this expansion's been up, and it's